We want to talk, though, more about some of the survival stories here. For the victims who rode out that storm, the terror that followed was basically the stunning revelation that they came outside to see that everything was destroyed. Everything completely gone in the blink of an eye. For one man that I talked to yesterday, Larry Hentworth, he didn't know if he'd survive, but he did, and then he made sure others survived, too.
I'm just thinking, well, this might be it.
Larry Henthorne was hunkered down in his home when the tornado came barreling through his neighborhood. Warned by a friend, he had just moments to save himself.
There was this big roar, and the whole house started to shake, and I ran down the stairs, and the hinges came off that door over there, and I just crouched down in the back of the garage down here.
Before you know it, the second story of the house is gone.
Yeah. It was like a roaring freight train.
You'd never experienced anything like that before, had you?
No.
You got to be scared to death at this point, seeing this go on.
Yeah, it was a very unnerving, surreal experience. This is my home right here. Bedroom, living room.
Henthorne's roof was in the yard. The view from what used to be the second floor of his home, miles of destruction.
It was like the apocalypse, a war zone. It's pretty incredible.
His first concern was not for himself, but his neighbors. A nearby nursing home was damaged, and other elderly residents lived down the street. Did you try to go out and try to help some people?
Yeah, I heard a woman weakly yelling, and another guy heard her, and I took off my shoes, and we pulled her out of a bathtub, collapsed home, and I put my shoes on her feet, and we managed to get her out. I mean, a lot of people are doing a lot of good things, and you know, a lot more than what I did.
Well, you know what, he sells himself short, but Larry Henthorne, one of the many heroes who's doing heroic work here in the wake of this massive tornado. FEMA Director Craig Fugate's here. He's a busy man, as you can imagine. We spoke with him earlier about the federal government's emergency response to this situation. Well, the president said we're going to do all we can to make sure that people here recover. What does that do in terms of what your job is here?
Well, first of all, this area has been declared a disaster area by the president, focusing right now on supporting the governor and their team and individual assistance for people that have been impacted by this tornado.
Yeah, and I know you see this a lot. The people at home, they see these pictures of devastation. It's devastating, especially for the people that live here. When you look around, is there any different with this tornado to other tornadoes that you've seen?
You know, you don't compare them. That's one of the things I learned in this business. Each one of these is unique. And here you have a hospital heavily damaged, but look around these neighborhoods. Again, these are the disasters people are facing right here. So I don't really compare it to other disasters. I just look at what they're dealing with here and how do we support them.
As far as assets and support, what can the people of this area expect from FEMA today? What's on its way?
Well, right now, the governor and his team have been supporting search and rescue. We're supporting them with additional communication equipment. But right now, the biggest thing we're offering to people is to start the registration process by going to 1-800-621-FEMA and registering for assistance if they don't have insurance or their insurance didn't cover their losses.
Do you guys have the resources to deal with all of these disasters? You've got flooding in the Mississippi. You've got Tuscaloosa, which was just a couple of weeks ago. Now something like this. I mean, these are not small issues you're dealing with.
No, it isn't. But here's something you may not realize. Last week in this state, we just concluded a major exercise with the governor and his team on a simulated earthquake. Many of those same teams that were here last week are back here for real.
How much did something like that help? Could this have been worse?
I think, again, it shows the strong partnership of the local and state officials and mutual aid. And that's what really got here fastest was the local and surrounding communities and states responding for the search and rescue teams.
This is turning out to be already one of the deadliest tornado seasons on record. Are people getting enough warning?
Well, you know, again, when you look at the Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center had put out that there was a significant risk of severe weather. Unfortunately, we're seeing that same risk today. And that's why it's so important for people to be prepared, get a plan. And if you haven't gotten ready yet, go to ready.gov, get prepared before these storms strike again.
Is there anything else, though, that can be done to protect these people? They know they live in a high-risk area. But is there any other measures that can be taken?
Yeah, there are. You know, we got a lot of new construction. They don't build basements like they used to in a lot of areas, but we have designs for like building safe rooms in homes. So we'll actually, with the governor's team, work about how do you mitigate future disasters as we rebuild from the tornadoes.
Craig Fugate, we know you got a busy job ahead, and we thank you for taking the time and joining us.
Thank you.